Now we will begin Part A with the first conversation. Number 1.
The tickets for that rock concert finally go on sale next Saturday at 5 o'clock.
I heard that anyone who wants one had better get there sooner than that.
What does the woman imply? Number 2.
Your train will be ready for boarding in 15 minutes, sir. Breakfast will be offered in the dining car.
Good. I'll have just enough time to send a fax before leaving.
What does the man plan to do next? Number 3.
Shall I cut your hair for you?
No way. Last time you almost made me bald.
What does the man imply? Number 4.
I have to call the apartment manager.
Lost your keys again, huh?
What does the woman imply? Number 5.
Would you like to try the new seafood restaurant tonight? I hear it's very good.
I have to give a presentation tomorrow, and I need to do a trial run.
What does the woman mean? Number 6.
Uh-oh, somebody left their wallet here.
See if there's some kind of identification in it.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 7.
Dr. Smith asked us to watch that special on the Civil War on TV this weekend. Do you want to come over Saturday night?
Oh, I'm supposed to help my cousin move then. It's being rebroadcast on Sunday afternoon, though. Is that okay for you?
What does the man mean? Number 8.
I don't know how I managed to break that platter. I'd be more than happy to buy you a new one.
Forget about it. Some things just can't be helped.
What does the woman mean? Number 9.
I wonder if there's a bus that goes by the museum.
The History Museum on Main Street? Take one that says 8A on the front.
What does the man mean? Number 10.
It's pouring. We're never going to make our flight if we don't leave soon.
Oh, don't worry so much. I'm sure we'll get there in plenty of time.
What does the woman mean? Number 11.
Hey, there's a program on the radio tonight at 7 you might like. It's about owls.
I hadn't heard about it, but you're right. I am interested.
What will the woman probably do? Number 12.
How long can you keep the videotapes?
If they're not returned by the time the media center closes tonight, I'll have to pay a fine.
What does the man mean? Number 13.
So, you need someone to watch your cats while you're away?
Would that be a problem for you?
What does the man want to know? Number 14.
Jane told me she'd meet me here at the library reference desk at 1 o'clock, but she hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, I just saw her upstairs in the third-floor study lounge. She said she'd been expecting you at 12:30.
What does the man say about Jane? Number 15.
Could you give this note to Michelle?
Give it to Michelle. What am I, a messenger?
What does the man imply? Number 16.
I'm sorry I forgot to return your physics book last night.
I'll forgive you, considering the test isn't till Friday.
What does the man imply? Number 17.
I'm having a lot of trouble with calculus, and my professor can't seem to explain it in a way that makes sense to me.
You know, the student government runs a tutoring service. I was ready to drop trigonometry last semester before they helped me out.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 18.
I see that your roommate Donna's editor of the newspaper this year.
Editor, yes, but you'd never know she was my roommate. I've hardly seen her since the beginning of the term. She might as well move her bed over to the newspaper office.
What can be inferred about Donna? 19.
John, I really can't afford any more interruptions right now. I've got to finish this assignment.
I'm sorry, Kathy. Just one more thing. I forgot to ask if you could give me a ride to school tomorrow.
What can be inferred about the man? Number 20.
I'm really disappointed about not getting that job.
An evening at the jazz club ought to make you feel better.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 21.
Every single book I need for my report is off the shelves.
Tough luck.
What does the man mean? Number 22.
I've got 5 pairs of pants and 7 shirts packed.
You'll be away for a while then.
What does the woman mean? Number 23.
I just submitted my entry for the art club's photography contest.
I had no idea there was going to be one.
What does the man mean? Number 24.
Do you ever get tired of all the talk about fat and cholesterol?
Do I? You know, sometimes I think it's just a fad. How can so many different things be bad for you?
What does the woman imply? Number 25.
I thought you were going to call me last night about the train schedule.
Sorry, I would have, but Harry and Jack stopped by and stayed past midnight.
What does the woman mean? Number 26.
I'll read you the main points of the report over the phone.
Great. That'll help me stay on top of the project till I'm able to come back to work.
What does the man mean? Number 27.
I'd be happy to show you a more spacious unit on the 12th floor.
Please do. This place is nice, but it seems pretty cramped.
What does the woman imply? Number 28.
I hear you did some serious shopping this past weekend.
Yep. The speakers from my old stereo finally gave out, and there was no way to repair them.
What did the woman probably do over the weekend? Number 29.
We're thinking of taking the kids to the new aquarium this weekend. Do you think it's worth the trip?
I've heard good things about it. I hope I get a chance to go myself soon.
What does the woman imply? Number 30.
It's a tradition. Every New Year's Day, my sister and I go skating on the lake.
Has it been cold enough this winter, or will you go indoors?
What does the man imply? This is the end of Part A. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 through 35. Listen to a conversation between two students who have met on campus.
How do you and your housemates like the new co-op? I'm thinking of joining it myself.
We like it quite a bit. We get some very fresh produce and bulk staples at fair prices. But it certainly hasn't saved us time. The co-op doesn't carry everything, so we still wind up going to the supermarket, too, for cleaning supplies, batteries, that sort of thing. I wish the co-op sold those items. I've been talking about it with some of the other members.
What do members have to do? Just pay a membership fee?
Yeah, there's a fee, and there are meetings, but attendance isn't required. But we do have to work there for an hour every week, which isn't too bad. Once you're there, you can get your shopping done.
I wouldn't mind working there sometime. You get to learn about their products. But is the food free of additives? That would be the main reason I'd join. I'm a convert from junk food. Until now, my diet's been largely chemical additives and pesticides.
Well, a lot of the food is pure and pesticide-free. They also have vitamin supplements and soy and tofu and that kind of thing. Lots of health food enthusiasts shop there. So if any store is health-oriented, the co-op is.
I'd like to try it just for a month or so. Do they have trial memberships?
The shortest membership time is 1 month. Then, if you like it, you can join for longer periods, and it becomes cheaper. A 6-month membership costs as much as 5 individual months.
Sounds pretty easy. Maybe the next time I run into you again, it'll be in the checkout line at the co-op.
Number 31. What are the speakers mainly discussing? Number 32. What change does the woman suggest the co-op make? Number 33. What is one thing members of the co-op must do? Number 34. Why might the man join the co-op? Number 35. What is the advantage for the people who join the co-op for a 6-month period? Questions 36 through 39. Listen to a conversation between two students in the campus cafeteria.
Gosh, Fred, another cup of coffee? That's your 3rd since lunch.
Yeah. Well, I stayed up all night cramming for my history exam. I couldn't keep my eyes open in my last class. I'm having this coffee so I can stay awake this afternoon.
Don't you know that drinking too much coffee is harmful?
What do you mean, harmful?
Well, for one thing, it may cause heart disease.
Nah. Most of the research about the link between coffee and heart disease is inconclusive.
But coffee has caffeine, which is addictive.
You can't become addicted to caffeine like other drugs.
Yes, you can. Don't you know that people who are deprived of caffeine suffer withdrawal symptoms, especially headaches?
One cure for headaches, oddly enough, is caffeine. Haven't you ever noticed that many over-the-counter headache remedies use caffeine as one of their ingredients? Besides, coffee helps me work faster.
Studies have shown that coffee makes you work faster, but not necessarily better. You may finish your exam in a shorter period of time, but you won't have fewer errors.
You know, that soda you're drinking has caffeine in it, too.
But 12 ounces of soda has only half the caffeine of a 5-ounce cup of coffee, and a cup of tea has less than that.
But I like the taste of coffee.
You could drink decaf.
Decaffeinated coffee doesn't have as much flavor or body as regular coffee. Besides, I want something that'll keep me alert in class.
Number 36. What is the conversation mainly about? Number 37. What is the man's problem? Number 38. What does the man say research shows about coffee? Number 39. What does the woman probably think about coffee? This is the end of Part B.
Now we will begin Part C with the first talk.
Questions 40 through 43. Listen to part of a lecture in a composition class.
By the end of the term, I hope you'll be convinced, as I am, that formal writing always requires revision. Sometimes it requires a fairly major rewriting of the paper. Some students have the mistaken idea that revision means simply making corrections in spelling and grammar. I call that proofreading. What I expect you to do as you revise is to evaluate and improve the overall effectiveness of your paper. But how can you tell if your paper is effective? Well, for example, start by asking yourself these questions. Is the topic restricted enough to be fully discussed within the given length? Are the main ideas clear? Are they supported by specific details and examples? Do they move smoothly from one idea to the next? You'll need enough time for a possible major overhaul. That is, you may have to make a lot of changes before your paper becomes really clear to the reader. So I'll expect a preliminary draft of each paper 2 weeks before the final due date. That way I can criticize it and get it back in time for you to revise it. Then you can submit a final draft for grading. This process may seem like a great deal of trouble at first, but I think you'll find it valuable. In fact, after you finish this course, I doubt that you will ever turn in a term paper without first revising it carefully.
Number 40. What is the purpose of the talk? Number 41. What should be the student's main goal as they revise their work? Number 42. When should the first drafts be turned in? Number 43. What effect does the instructor think the class will have on the students? Questions 44 through 46. Listen to part of a radio program about environmental issues.
Are electric cars the wave of the future? Automobile manufacturers are under pressure to develop cars that do not pollute. One powerful motive is a California law requiring that by the year 2000, 10% of new car sales in the state be so-called zero-emission vehicles. These cars must put no pollutants whatsoever into the atmosphere. California is a huge market for the automobile companies, so they are working hard to meet these standards. So far, the electric car seems to be the best alternative. So the big advantage of electric cars is that they don't pollute. However, they will be in competition with gas-powered cars, and that's where their weaknesses come out. The big problem is that the batteries that power electric cars weigh a lot relative to the amount of power they deliver. For instance, in one prototype electric car, the batteries weigh 400 kilograms. and they provide enough energy to go 250 kilometers before recharging, which takes 8 hours. Compare that to a moderately fuel-efficient conventional car. It can go 600 to 700 kilometers on a tank of gas, and refueling takes just minutes. If there are other drains on an electric car's batteries besides the motor, headlights, air conditioning, or a heater, its already limited range would be significantly reduced. So automobile engineers are trying to make more powerful batteries that would increase the car's range and make them more attractive to buyers.
Number 44. What is the talk mainly about? Number 45. What is the main advantage of electric cars over gas-powered cars? Number 46. What is the main drawback of the electric car? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to a talk given at a museum of natural history.
I'd like to welcome you all to the Museum of Natural History. Today's tour will take us through our newly renovated dinosaur exhibit, where we have the largest collection of dinosaur fossils anywhere in the world. Before we begin the tour, let me mention that there have been some major modifications to some of the exhibits over the past 3 years. Basically, these changes were made because of recent changes in the ways scientists interpret dinosaur behavior. For example, when we get to the first room, you will be able to see that the Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton is no longer standing upright with its tail dragging on the floor. That's because paleontologists, as they examined the area around its footprints more closely, realized they could find no evidence of a heavy dragging tail, which would have left behind marks in the earth. In its new position, the backbone is parallel to the floor, its head is pushed forward, and its tail is stretched out, acting as a counterweight. This new pose stresses the relationship between dinosaurs and modern birds, and supports the theory that dinosaurs are actually more closely related to birds than to any other existing creature. Let me also point out